Okay, so here we got, this is your account. Okay.
Okay.
And here we go. Let's go, what'd you say, property ownership? Want to do that first?
Sure. Oh, you can see my actual test and everything.
This is your account. I'm logging in as you.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything we do here, you'll be able to log back in and see.
Okay.
Okay, so, all right. All right, so let's get going, yeah?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, let's go. What do you think? Here, just read it out loud and read the answers, and let's see what we know.
Okay, let me see. All of the following will be classified as real property except. All of the following will be classified as real property except.
Okay, let's start with this.
I'm going to go with easement appurtenant.
Okay, let's take a look here.
Okay.
All right, so what's real property?
Real property is land and everything that runs with it.
Okay, good. So it's anything that runs with it. Cool. What does the word appurtenant mean?
I don't know.
That means it goes with it. That's like another word for runs with the land.
Appurtenant means goes with it as well?
Yeah, exactly. So obviously that can't be real property then, right? I mean,
Right.
Excuse me. That is real property. Excuse me.
Oh, okay, because it runs with the land, right?
And this is accept. What's a lease? Is that personal or real property?
A lease is personal.
Why?
Because it does not run with the land, and it's only for like a limited of time.
Right. Well, let's think of it this way: it's a contract with the person, not with the real estate.
Okay.
All right. Cool. So,
which of the following would be considered real property? I'm gonna go with bearing wall.
good. All right. So the next one.
Okay, so appurtenance means run with the land, correct?
Yeah, this is similar to the one we just did before.
Okay, which of the following will not be considered an appurtenance? Tree, fixture, swimming pool. Trade fixture is more so personal property due to the business.
Good, exactly. Boom. Nice one. And this kind of goes along with why it's so important. I want people to know the vocabulary. I say it all the time, but this is a good example. By you knowing that one word that you didn't know before, those are two questions you got correct.
Yes.
It's for me, it's just that's so important because it doesn't take that long to memorize words. It's hard with like the tricky questions, the accept and the word problems and all that kind of stuff. But vocabulary, like nobody has an excuse not to know that because that's just effort, you know? Okay, here we go.
Lena granted the property to Ungrilda, but because she knew that Ungrilda had a drinking problem, she told her that the condition. Oh, it kind of went blurry. Okay, there we go. The condition was that the property would be forfeited if alcohol is sold on the premises. Ungrilda will have which of the following estates? Okay. I know it's between fee simple, defeasible. I know fee simple, absolutely, you have complete ownership. Complete ownership here. So I'm gonna go with fee simple, defeasible.
Good, excellent, nice job.
I'm so excited.
Okay, read it loud.
Okay, placing two or more continuous units under common ownership for the purpose of increasing the value per unit is known as. I'm gonna knock out severity because that means one basically. I'm gonna go with plottage because I never seen permanent ownership or just it.
Good. You're doing great.
Okay.
Do you know what plottage is?
No, but I've read it, but I really didn't get off into it.
It's basically I say 1 + 1 = 3, and you know what I mean by that?
1 + 1 = 3.
It means
I
when
heard it in one of your videos before.
it's when two things are brought together, they have more value. For example, if you have a parking lot, it's
Uh
worth
huh.
something, but it's limited. If you have a shopping center, it's worth something, but it's limited. But when you attach that parking lot to the shopping center, it explodes the value
Okay.
because they work well together.
Okay. So 1 + 1 = 3. Okay.
Yeah, you always hear that at the wedding speeches by the best man. Individuals, you guys are great. Together, you guys are amazing. You know that crap.
Right.
Then everybody who doesn't have a relationship's like, I hate them. It's kind
Yeah.
of totally. Okay, read this one aloud.
A situation in which the tenant's lease has expired and the tenant is no longer paying rent but is living on the property is a state of sufferance.
Okay, good.
The total collection of rights which may be claimed by private ownership is best described as which may be claimed by private. Is that bundle of rights?
Yep. So you sounded
Okay.
unsure about that one. You got it
I
right
did.
though.
I
So
was
so what made you pick that one?
because when it said the collection of rights, I went with that.
Right. And when I explain this concept, people like talk about in terms of like you have like a handful of straws, right? And each straw
Right.
represents a right. And when you violate things, a straw is taken away, like a right's taken away until you have none.
Title held by a husband and wife may include all of the following forms of ownership except joint tenancy, severity.
Boom. Excellent.
Yeah, I know that one.
And
That
people
was like the first thing I knew when I first started.
right now the state's different in how they talk about husband and wife. Like some take
Uh-huh.
community property, some take a joint tenancy, some take a tenancy by entirety, right? But whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is, none of it could be severalty because severalty means
Okay.
what?
One
Exactly.
person.
So when people
What's
say,
the
"Does this apply to my state?" It doesn't matter because
difference? It doesn't matter.
severalty means alone, right?
Yes.
Good, excellent.
Which of the following would be the best and most complete definition of deterrent encumbrance? The degree, quantity, nature, and extent of interest which a person has on real property, anything which affects or limits the fee simple title to property, any action taken relative to property other than acquiring or transferring title, the use of property by a debtor to offer security for debt. Um, I'm not really sure about this one.
Okay, so give your best guess, and then we'll talk about it.
I was gonna go with uh the degree, quantity, nature, and extent of interest which a person has in real property.
Okay,
That
so
sounds
encumbrance is
that
anything that
sounds
limits
like
you.
huh?
Encumbrance is anything that limits you.
Anything that limits me?
Yeah. So, for example, if you're sleeping with too many blankets and you roll around in the night, what ends up happening? You get all
Yeah,
tangled, right?
yeah.
And you feel encumbered.
Oh,
Okay, because it gets very annoying. You can't really move, and it just becomes frustrating, right?
yes.
Okay.
So anything which affects or limits the fee simple title to property. Now, what do that mean? Affects title to the property.
Here, we'll go back over it. Look at this one.
Oh,
Okay. So when we're talking about this one, right? What affects or limits title of the property? What are some examples? Like, what makes your property like? What limits your ability to enjoy your property? Like, what are things that are a bummer when you own property?
could liens be an example?
It can, yeah, that's an encumbrance.
Liens.
So taxes, which is a lien.
Taxes. Okay.
Easements. Somebody walking across your property, wouldn't that be annoying?
Yes, that would. What about foreclosure? That's part of a lien, correct?
Yeah,
Or
that's
it could
not a thing. That's more of an action.
action. Okay.
All right.
Yes.
So it doesn't really limit your use. That takes away your use.
Okay. So anything which affects or limits the fee simple title to the property. Okay, I got it now. I
Yeah,
got it.
we'll purposely get that one wrong so it goes over here.
Okay. If you hold an undivided interest in the common areas and a separate interest in a specific unit of a industrial, commercial, or residential building, you will own a land project, condominium, community apartment project, stock, a condominium.
Good.
Who usually is responsible for providing streets, utilities, sidewalks, curbs, and subdivisions? The local office, the building and safety, the county, the city, the builder slash developer. The city?
Good.
Oh no, that's not right. It's the
Oh, did I
builder.
mess up? I'm sorry. You caught me.
You know what? And guess what? I second guess myself too, because I'm like the builder slash developer, but then they would have to get permission, the builder and the developer.
Right. So the ones we get wrong, putting in the right-hand column, so we could go back to those, okay?
Okay.
You totally caught me. I was like, good. You know why? Because you were getting so many right. I was just like, awesome, good. Busted.
Right, busted. One of the main differences between real and personal property is that real property can be held in joint tenancy, can be billed, is subject to depreciation over a period of time, is immovable. Well, I know real property is immovable, so.
Okay, so that's right as a general rule, but I want you to be careful with that. Why?
Because real property can become personal property.
Well, also, is all real property immovable?
Not somewhat. If it's a personal property and it become a real property, because personal property can be movable, correct?
Well, okay, so a trade fixture is what? Personal or real property?
Personal.
Okay. But that chair, that dentist chair, is that attached to the ground?
It is attached. No, it is attached, but it's still movable unless.
But you see my point? Like, physically, it's not movable.
Right.
But it's still personal property.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So really, the rule is real property goes with the real estate, personal property goes with a person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay. A real estate broker may have difficulty with personal property because its ownership rights and identification may be difficult to determine. This is because personal property can be hypothecated, become real property, be alienated, hypothecated, and become real property. Oh, this is a hard one. What does alienated mean again?
Get rid of.
Get rid of.
Like when your friends are going to a party and you're not invited, you feel alienated.
Right. Oh, it sounds like it's all of the above, so I'm gonna go with the last one.
Good.
Okay. A freehold estate consists of a leasehold estate, an estate at will, an estate from period to period, a fee estate. A freehold estate, makes me so good with the freeholds and the leaseholds until I had to really start digging off into the other stuff. Now I forgot about this. Freehold estate consists of an estate from period to period.
Nope.
A
So
estate,
estate from period is also known as a periodic tenancy. Okay.
periodic. Okay,
A leasehold estate is also a lease.
right.
An estate at will just means you can leave at any time.
Okay,
All right.
yeah.
So a freehold estate would be the freehold estate. We'll go over that again.
Okay. The deed restrictions on a subdivision said that the lots must contain a minimum of 15,000 square feet. The zoning restrictions said that the lots must contain a minimum of 10,000 square feet. Which would prevail? The one recorded first, zoning restrictions, deed restrictions, the one recorded last. The deed restrictions on subject. The one recorded. I'm gonna go with the one recorded first.
Okay. So really, it's the more restrictive. Okay.
Oh,
So I mean, if you are required 15,000 square feet and you have 10, you're fine, right?
no.
Right. Okay. I said that wrong. If you require 10 and you have 15, you're fine, correct?
You could be fine, yeah, because I guess you're over the minimum required.
Right. So if I require you to have two apples, right, and you have three,
I'm good. Yeah, I'm
you're
good.
okay. But if I require you to have three and only have two, you're not good, even if you got the two apples first.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense when you put it in those terms?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because it said,
Right.
when the key word here is minimum.
Like, when you have to park and there's two signs and it's really annoying?
Mm-hmm.
Which sign do you read? The one that's more restrictive, right?
Right.
Like if one says no parking from 10 to 12, the other says no parking from, 11 to, 12. You go with
Right.
the one that says 10 to 12,
10 to 12. Right.
right? Because that's the one that's more restrictive because the other one fits within the parameters of the other. Does that make sense?
Yes. Of the following, which best defines a fee simple estate? An estate for years, the most interest that one can hold in land, title in the owner without limitations, a life estate. Oh God, I need to go back over this. The most interest that one can hold in land, title in the owner without limitations. Is it the most interest that one can hold? And no, I don't know.
Yes, go with your impulse.
Oh, okay, the most interest that one. I gotta write this down. I need to go back over the estates.
Yeah.
Which of the following is not a characteristic of a fee simple?
What word should pop out to you in the question?
Not a characteristic. Characteristic is not
All right, so you got to be careful for that, right?
right. Yeah, because I messed up a lot of times on that reading it wrong. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a fee simple title? It is transferable with or without consideration. It is transferable by will or intestate. It is of indefinite duration. It is always free of encumbrance. It's not always free of encumbrance.
Good, because there are
That's
always taxes, right?
not, yeah, that's not promised. As used in real property law, most nearly means the obstinacy of a holdover tenant, the mode or method of holding title to real property by a lessee or owner, the landlord-tenant relationship, a tenant who has acted in excess of their rights. Is it a tenant who has acted in excess of their rights?
Nope, it just made it owning property.
The mode or
That's
method
why
of
you have
holding.
joint tenancy, tenancy in common, that kind of thing.
Mhm. Okay. Mr. Smith owned real property severally. This term is used to legally describe ownership by remainder, several tenants in common, co-tenants, and individual.
Good. You know that pretty well.
I do. I
Yeah,
want to
that
know
one.
what.
Yeah, you're good on that one.
When owners of real property hold title as tenants in common, the one who lives the longest winds up the sole owner. All co-owners must own an equal interest in the property. Each of the co-owners' interests may be conveyed separately. The individual owners give up their right to will their interest in real property. All co-owners must own an equal interest in the property. Each of the co-owner interests may be conveyed separately.
Yeah, so what's the difference between joint tenancy and tenancy in common?
Joint tenancy, you have joint tenancy. You have, what is it? You have the right to complete ownership, like when they die. The right of survivorship.
Good. There's also time, title, interest, and possession, right?
Right, the opportunities. Yes, time,
Right.
title,
So
possession.
tenants in common do not have equal interest.
Because so when that person dies, their share can go to their heirs or
Or
can
even
go.
simply when you sell it, you know, you could sell a different amount than the other person.
Right.
So if we're
Okay.
tenants in common, I may have 3/4 interest. Where if we're joint tenants, it's 50-50.
50-50. Okay. Okay. Yes. In tenancy in common, there is always a unity of time, title, interest, possession. Possession. Because
Good. So time, title, interest, possession, all of those unified for joint tenancy.
joint tenancy, right?
Tenants in common is just possession.
Possession. Okay. When the preliminary title report reveals the existence of an easement on the property, it indicates that the easement is. When the preliminary title report reveals the existence of an easement on the property, it indicates that the easement is encroachment, encumbrance, lien, tenement. Okay, so the easement is that court ordered easement?
Way overthinking it.
I'm doing too
Yeah,
much.
that's all. It's a good question, but there's a lot of different topics with that of how easements are
Okay,
acquired. But that knowing that's not going to help you with this question.
okay. When the I know encroachment. I look at encroachment as roach trespassing. So encumbrance.
Remember, encumbrance is anything that limits you. Remember, so when you have an
Okay.
easement, you're not trespassing. You have the right to go
Right.
there,
Right. Okay.
right? Because
Encumbrance.
the easement, you
Because it
have the
runs
legal
with the
right.
land.
as you said, encroachment implies that you don't have the right.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Land that is subject to an easement is said to be appurtenant, encroached, restricted, encumbered. Land that is subject to easement is said to be. Oh, I don't know this one. I don't
Yes,
want
you
to guess.
do. Yes, you do. We just did this one. You could do it.
Encumbered?
Good. Yeah, don't say you don't know. You know. You know what you're doing.
Encumbrance on the property burden. Okay. In an appurtenant easement, the party that benefit is known as the dominant tenement. I know that one.
Nice job.
The major intent of zoning regulations is to respect the police power of the state, ensure the health, safety, and welfare of the community, protect residential neighborhoods, encroachment by business and industry, set limits on the amount and kinds of businesses in a given area. I'm gonna go with ensures the health, safety, and welfare of the community.
Good.
Property over which an easement runs in favor of another parcel of real estate is known as dominant estate, condemned estate, restrictive estate, serving estate. Property over which an easement runs in favor of another parcel. Property over which an easement runs in favor of another parcel of real estate is known as. Now, when I say in favor, do that mean like as agreed?
Yes.
Okay.
Like it benefits. In benefits.
Was it benefiting?
The other property. That says in favor of another. So the another is the party of benefits.
Okay, so is it? I'm gonna go. So is it dominant estate again, since it's benefiting that person?
Property
Serving
over which an easement run in favor of another. So the dominant is the another.
another. Okay, so the servient is the property over.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're the ones. So they're the property that's being going run over.
Okay, property over. Okay. I'm starting to get more wrong. I don't like this.
It's okay.
An easement on real estate would terminate if the holder of the dominant tenement recorded a deed of reconveyance, notice of non-responsibility, quit claim deed, res pendants. I know a res pendants is a pending lawsuit, so it's not that one. Quit claim deed. What about a deed of reconveyance?
So a quick claim
Oh,
deed. Yeah, quick claim deed just immediately eliminates ownership. Deed of reconveyance is more for loans.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Dan sold his land, which had an easement appertaining for a road. The deed which the buyer received contained an adequate description of the land, but made no reference to the easement. The buyer has the same right to the easement as the seller did, has a clouded title, takes title to the property which is landlocked. Has the same right to the easement as the seller did. That's good.
Excellent. Good. Just remember, it runs with the land.
It runs with the land, right? Who usually set deed restrictions on a subdivision development? The permanent lender, Federal Housing Administration, the developers, state and local ordinance. State and local ordinance. The developer.
Yeah. Here, let's go over some of these ones that you got wrong before, okay?
Okay. All of the following will be classified as real property except the leasehold estate and residential properties.
Good, exactly.
Because I remember easement Appurtenance, it runs with the land.
Yep.
Okay. Which of the following would be the best and most complete definition of the term encumbrance? Any action taken relative to the property other than acquiring or transferring title, the use of property by a debtor to offer a creditor security for debt, anything which affects or limits the fee of the title to the property. I'm gonna go anything which affects or limits the fee simple title.
Good. Now you're kicking butt.
Yeah. Who usually is responsible for providing streets, utilities, sidewalks, and curbs in a new subdivision? The builder slash developer. I need to read up on that.
Good.
When owners of real property hold title as tenant in common, each of the owner's interests may be conveyed separately. All co-owners must own an equal property. The individual owner has the right to will. Each of the co-owner interests may be conveyed separately.
Here's what's the answer?
Each of the co-owners' interests may be conveyed separately. Oh wait, hold on. When the owners of
You got it
real property.
right.
Okay, it looked like you pressed the other one. It was going a little slow.
Well, it won't on your real exam, so don't worry about that.
Right. Okay. When the preliminary title report reveals the existence of an easement on a property, it indicates that the easement is tenement, encroachment, encumbrance. Encumbrance.
Good.
Private restrictions on real property can be written either as a condition or a covenant. Which of the following is most correct concerning such restrictions?
What do you think?
Private restrictions on real property can be written either as a condition or a covenant. Which of the following is correct concerning such restrictions? I'm gonna go with violations of a condition can result in penalties which are more severe and can result in loss of title. The third one. The third one.
So the condition you lose title. Remember when you talk about the fee simple defeasible estate and that question where the person was drinking alcohol?
No, you clicked the wrong one. The
Oh, I
one you
did?
didn't click is the one. Yeah.
Okay, but still, you remember why that, because the condition's the worst violation. All right, so you got it
Right.
right though. So good, good.
Okay. Property over which an easement runs in favor of another parcel of real estate is known as servient estate.
Excellent, good.
A freehold estate consists of a fee estate.
Good.
The deed restrictions on a subdivision said that the lots must contain a minimum of 15,000 square feet. The zoning restrictions said that the lots must contain a minimum of 10,000 square feet. Which will prevail? The deed restriction.
Good.
In real property law, tenancy must the mode or method of holding title to real property by a lessee or owner.
Excellent.
The owner of a single lot is trying to show that exceptional circumstances concerning intended use of the property are applicable to his property. The owner is also trying to show that the exception is not detrimental to the public. The owner will probably petition the planning commission for the owner of a single lot is trying to show that exceptional circumstances. Rezoning.
Nope. So variance is just an exception to the rule. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Rezoning would change everything. That would like basically change the rule.
Okay.
Okay, you got this one right before. Let's see if you get it right again. This is the one I accidentally clicked the wrong one.
Private restrictions on real property can be written either as a condition or a covenant. Which of the following is most correct concerning such restrictions? Violations of a condition can result in penalties which are more severe and can result in loss of title.
Oh, I did that again.
Did it again.
Well, that's because last time the correct answer was here.
It was at the top. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to get it right this time.
Okay.
Get it out of there. Okay.
An easement on real estate will terminate if the holder of the dominant tenement recorded a quitclaim deed.
Excellent.
The owner of a single lot is trying to show that exceptional circumstances concerning an extended use of the property are applicable to his property. The owner is also trying to show that the exception is not detrimental to the public. The owner would probably petition the planning commission for variance.
What do you think?
A variance.
Good. Now, when you look up variance, I also want you to look up the word non-conforming use and grandfather clause. They're all related.
Yep, I know it runs with the land, the non-conforming and grandfather.
Okay, excellent. Good.
Who usually sets deed restrictions on a subdivision development? The developer.
Good. All right, cool.
Okay.
So at this
Okay.
point, we've been doing this for about 45, 47 minutes, 22 seconds, exactly. So is there anything else you want to go over?
Could we go over just a little bit of valuation and market analysis?
Sure.
Okay, just a little of that, and then everything else
Okay.
like you said, I can write you, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Orientation refers to, I don't know none of this at all.
Sure you do. This one's not even real estate. Just that has to do with where something's like when you say the orientation of the furniture. It's like where it's positioned.
Orientation refers to position on site.
Yeah. Don't worry too much about that one. That comes up very rarely. This comes up a little more.
Okay. Which of the following is the best definition of a commercial acre? Acre after deducting parking, acre minus all residential parking, an acre minus property that has been sold, the building portion of an acre after deduction for street curbs and sidewalks. The building portion of an acre after deduction for streets, curbs, and sidewalks.
Good. Now, how big is an acre? Like a normal acre?
Oh Lord, I'm really bad with numbers and math. So is that the one that say 46,300 and something square feet? I don't know. Oh, 43,000. I was close. I wasn't even looking at that.
Yeah, 40,560. Gotta know that one. Gotta know that one. Okay.
Okay.
All right. No excuse not to know that one. That's just straight up memorization.
Okay. Okay. An expensive home that later became surrounded by cheaper homes would suffer a loss in property value attributable to physical deterioration, residential obsolescence, functional obsolescence, economic obsolescence. It will become economic.
Excellent. Good. So you definitely seemed right off the bat stronger in this section than you do with the other.
Really?
Yeah. Here, let's keep going. Let's see.
When an appraiser is considering the economic life and the physical life of a building, the economic life is usually the same. Oh, shorter. In the capitalization method of appraising, the most difficult step is it establish the gross income? Because you wouldn't know that if you wasn't.
What do you think?
I think it's establish the growth income, the gross income.
And that's easy because you can just ask
Wow.
somebody that. Like when you have a
You can,
business, that's just how much money's coming in.
okay.
All right. There's
Okay.
not really a mathematical formula to that. It's just looking at your books and you see how much money's coming in.
And I'm really just guessing on this stuff due to the fact that I haven't went over this chapter again yet. So I'm gonna go over it later. Which of the methods could be used by appraisers for estimating the cost of construction? Square footage, quantity, unit in place, all of the other options are correct. Is it all of the other options are correct?
Good. When in doubt, go with all the above. Nice.
Right. If an appraiser is appraising a special purpose property, he would probably use the income approach, cost approach, land residual approach, market data approach. It's between income approach and cost approach. I always get these two confused. The the cost approach is when you appraise like churches, police departments.
Okay. So what kind of properties are those?
Are they special properties?
Or do you think they're special?
I'm gonna go with cost approach.
Good. And when it says special, it means there's nothing to compare it to. And
Okay.
there's no income.
Okay. I'm just taking notes as well. Okay. The effectiveness of the market data approach of appraising would be limited most by which of the following? I'm gonna go with the financing terms of comparable properties, economic conditions that rapidly change. Wow. Yeah, I have to go over this section, so I'm
Yeah, you
glad.
might.
I'm doing really good for me to be guessing.
Right, but that's not what we want to,
No, I know that's not what we want to do. I really wasn't expecting to go over this one, but I am today. When we done, I'm going to go over this chapter. When is the market data approach the least reliable? It's similar to the subject property and active market. All of the other options will make this approach unreliable, rapid economic. Rapid economic change.
Hey, here, let's
Oh
go
my
over
God.
these. And we'll finish up these on the right.
Okay. When an appraiser is considering the economic life and the physical life of a building, the economic life is usually longer.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah.
shorter? Okay. The economic life is the length of time during which a piece of property may be put to profitable use, usually less than its physical life. In the capitalization method of appraising, the most difficult step is to select the capitalization rate.
Good. All right.
The effectiveness of the market data approach of appraising will be limited most by which of the following? Um, Economic conditions that rapidly change.
Good. Same one.
When is the when is the market data approach the least reliable? All of the other options will make this approach unreliable.
Good.
When an appraiser is considering the economic life and the physical life of a building, the economic life is usually shorter. I remember that one
Good.
now.
All right. Cool. So we did a bunch today. We're doing questions for an hour there. But go over this stuff and then write me later through Skype. All right. And I'll be
Okay.
there for you and I'll answer when I can, when I have a moment. All right.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you
You're
so much.
welcome.
This was
Yeah.
fun.
And, we'll get this done. All right. I'm here for you. So if you have
We
questions, you
will.
just hit me up and I'll answer. Okay.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you,
I'll talk to you
Joe.
soon. Bye.
All right. Bye bye.